Today I'm going to ask the question, is this the ultimate Rolex Explorer alternative? Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today, another episode in a series I like to call Buying at BQ. Yes, over the past few months, I've been trying to find the best pre-owned luxury watches around and under the £5,000 mark I think you should know about. Now, BQ watches are the #1 place to either buy or sell your luxury watch on the market. A 14-day money-back guarantee and a 2-year warranty with every purchase. There really is no better place to buy or sell than BQ. Super! Now, this is a first for the Mad Watch Collector channel today because I get to review an IWC. Yeah! Now, the brand, called the International Watch Company, was founded back in 1868 by an American Boston watchmaker, Florentine Ariosto Jones. And his main aim at the time, having set some roots up in Schaffhausen, was to bring his progressive American watch production techniques and combine them with the craftsmanship of the Swiss watchmakers. And over the coming years, this brand made some top quality, high-level pocket watches. But what I love about them is the role they had back in World War II, because they were chosen one of 12 to produce watches for the British military. And those watches are nicknamed the Dirty Dozen. Now, ironically, at the same time, they were making Flieger pilots watches for the German military. But because Schaffhausen is on the Swiss border, it didn't seem to affect their relationships with either side. And in 1948, IWC were commissioned to make a watch for the British Royal Air Force, one of the most iconic British military watches out there. Today's watch is inspired by that Mark 11 back in 1948, and the name of this IWC, well, is very close to my heart. Now, before I show you the watch, let me say that this has always been on my radar. It's definitely a watch I would like to own. However, there are some parts to this watch that potentially could put me off a little bit. However, I would go as far as saying this is a perfect alternative to the likes of a Rolex Explorer from a company with far more history and most definitely far more watchmaking prowess. Also, don't forget at the end of the show, my wife's first thoughts about this watch. Are you IWC ready? Let's go! And ladies and gentlemen, here is the IWC Spitfire.
Right up my alley.
Yes, now I used to live very close to the location where the Vickers factories were, and my nan used to work in the factories helping build all the Spitfires. But as you can see from the dial, this definitely takes inspiration from that Mark 11, and I guess it's given it a more contemporary size. That triangle with the 2 dots either side is just as iconic in the watchmaker's game as the meat and 2 veg on a Speedmaster. The only difference is one of them doesn't look like a male's tackle. Anyway, a very simplistic case, mostly brushed. There are the smallest touches of polishing just below the bezel and underneath the watch, including the crown at 3 o'clock. Actually surprised that that's not brushed like everything else, but this is an absolutely stunning icon brought back to life. This watch was manufactured in 2019. Absolutely awesome. Quick spec check. Okay, so the diameter of this watch is 39 millimeters. Back in the day in 1948, those pilots in the RAF had to wear watches that were 33 millimeters. Some people out there would call that a kid's size watch. Tell that to those brave pilots back in 1948. 10.9 millimeters thick, which is pretty darn good, seeing as though this is an automatic watch. We have a very strapaholic lug width of 20 millimeters. So yeah, a little bit long in the lug to lug length, but I'm still hoping to pull this bad boy off. We have a domed sapphire crystal with over and under anti-reflective coating, and it does look absolutely sensational. The crown is screw in, and we have a screw down case back. However, we only have a water resistance of 60 meters. Quite specific. This is a pilot's watch. It will probably only be good enough if you pull the ejector seat and land in the ocean and sort of paddle about a bit until you're rescued, but there's no going too deep with this bad boy. I do absolutely love that case back as well. International Watch Company Spitfire and the beautiful Spitfire motif. Superb. Onto the strap, well, it is very well made. It's textured fabric with leather on the back. What I would say is this is where you see the wear in the watch. The leather top part is just fraying away a little bit. IWC do sell straps, and if I was to buy this one, I'd definitely replace it with a new one. That would be my bargaining tool when we talk about the price later. Okay, let's look at the face.
Dial time.
And yes, I am the host of contradictingness. Even though this is a busy dial, it still looks extremely legible. Everything is printed on this matte finished base. It's black, but it almost looks grey in some lights. I love the type font they've used for the numbers. Now, I'm a fan of faux patina, right? However, we've only got patina on the hour markers at 12, 3, 6 and 9. I think it would have been a far more balanced looking patina dial if every hour marker on that minute track had patina also, because it almost looks like this is a redial of a vintage watch, but they've still kept the old handset. However, I do like patina. This is a vintage inspired watch, and it's a little tip of the hat to that Mark 11. And what I do appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, is not only the name Spitfire on the dial, but it's in red. I absolutely love a little bit of red on a dial. It just sets it off, doesn't it? But what I don't like that date window. I mean, the original didn't have it. It's a complication I'm not bothered about. And because you've got a numeral on every single hour, the number in the date window looks a little bit out of place because it's half the size of the other numbers. Me personally, I would have got rid of it. All in all though, a magic looking dial steeped in British military history and watchmaking prowess. So we've got lume on the hands and lume on some of the indices. Out of 10, let's see how much this puppy glows. Yeah, so only the faux patina parts are the parts that light up. But thanks to those big military sword hands and the huge triangle at 12 o'clock, legibility is still pretty good. It's just not one for showing off in the dark. Now, powering this watch is an extremely impressive 32-110 automatic in-house IWC movement, sweeping away at 21,800 beats per hour, 72 hours of power reserve, and is protected in a soft iron cage to help it being anti-magnetic. This movement is a thing of beauty, and it is a crying shame you as an owner of this watch don't get to have a display case back of this thing, because IWC go to town on their movements with perlaging, Cote de Genève striping. Anyway, you can hand wind it, pull it out to the first position and you can change the date. Pull it out to the last position, the second hand stops. This watch is hackable and you can set the time. Sweet!
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and yeah, this feels lovely. Never a huge fan of a narrow strap end, particularly for us little wristers, because the folding of it on a NATO style strap is a bit fiddly. However, this is very comfortable and still does a very good job of hugging the wrist. Legibility is phenomenal because of the double AR coating to it. Outside it looks awesome. I mean, it looks ready for business, doesn't it? Military business. It's a shame I don't do anything military. So there we go, the IWC Spitfire. Now, to buy this watch brand new from IWC, it's going to cost you £4,400. On the BQ Watches website right now, this watch is going for £3,750. Now, if I really wanted to buy this watch, I would definitely try and negotiate so I can get a replacement strap for this. Now, on the whole, IWCs tend to keep their value. But I know what you're saying. £3,750? You what? When you compare it to the likes of, I don't know, Hamilton, that have a great range of pilots' watches and field watches that you can buy for around and under the £1,000 mark. But this is one of the daddies. IWC don't tend to make simple watches anymore. They are doubling down on their high complicated perpetual calendar Portuguesers, just showing off their watchmaking might. Having an IWC watch with their in-house movement, I mean, wow, you've got ultimate comfort there and confidence. You've got an absolute banging movement. This company have been around since the 1800s. They're steeped in history, as well as British military history. And this watch, inspired by the one that was issued to the Royal Air Force back in 1948, it is right up my alley. Plus, it's called a Spitfire. I mean, I need to have it. But yes, I get it. The dial, it's just printed. They should show off the luxury, not only inside the watch, but on the outside. For me, this is the anti-Rolex. A watch that a lot of enthusiasts can really appreciate. It's not gonna turn heads from non-watch folk, and that's not why you buy it. You buy it because of the brand, the history. One day, I'm pretty sure I am gonna own an IWC, and if I do, I think it could be a Spitfire. Here it is, my wife's views on the IWC Spitfire. Whoa! This is okay. Does look faded though. Has it been out in the sun for long? The top shape looks funny. Looks like a couple of UFOs circling the pyramids. Haha! Do you think that's good enough from her that she will allow me to get one, you reckon? No? Yeah? Thank you so much to BQ for sending this bad boy in to me. It is available on the BQ website right now, as is many other IWCs. This is really the tip of the iceberg. Thanks so much for watching till the end. If you want a bit more of the Mad Watch Collector, click there and join. But if I got you for a few more minutes, there's more. There's always room for one more. Go on. You'll love it. Go on, click it. You'll love it. Click it. I haven't got all day. I mean, maybe I have with this IWC, but no. Go on, click it. Click it.